Hi, and welcome to Senior Moments. It's a show all about senior living here in Cleveland County. We hope to highlight events, activities, organizations, basically anything that would interest a senior citizen here in Cleveland County. And all of us will be senior citizens even if we're not yet. I am Jackie Sibley Newton, your host. This is a broadcast service of Cleveland Community College on Spectrum TV. But if you have friends and family who don't have access to Spectrum TV, you can always share this show on C19.tv with your friends and family online. My guest today is Nancy Basie-Acon. I got it close.
Yes.
And Nancy works for the North Carolina Cooperative Extension, but is also the director, I guess, or coordinator of Grandparents Raising Grandchildren.
Right.
So that is an organization that's not just in Cleveland County, am I correct?
Right. Well, it could be in other counties, and it would be up to the county. Now, Rutherford County does have a Grandparents Raising Grandchildren support group, and there are not really that many counties in North Carolina right now.
Okay.
But Cooperative Extension partners with the Department of Social Services and other agencies, as we do here in Cleveland, that makes this available, and our area agency on aging.
Okay. So a lot of different people involved in creating this support group for grandparents. And is it just grandparents, or are there other family members that maybe are now raising a child or children that are relatives?
Yes, Jackie, there can be grandparents are the predominantly who make up the group, but it could be great grandparents, it could be aunts and uncles, siblings even. Even sometimes we'll see a family friend, someone that's just close to the family, and they are taking on the care for, and this is usually 24/7 care, so it's full-time care. Most of the time, the parent of the children are not part of the household, so the grandparent does have full responsibility. And one of the things that we try to work with is helping provide some information and resources about some of the legal kinds of things that they need to do or put in place, whether they're providing medical care or just getting their grandchild enrolled in school or sports or something like that. So trying to direct to some of those services.
And that could be a situation where you've raised your children are all grown, and now you find yourself with your grandchildren and things have changed, and you can't just assume that you're going to have the rights to make decisions for these children regarding education or health care.
Exactly. There's quite a legal system in place, of course, as is necessary, and in protecting everyone's rights. And we try to do a program on legal issues about every year or every other year, depending on the change in the makeup of our participation. But again, the community has been great to respond, the professionals in the community, in coming to our monthly support group meeting when invited and sharing information and resources. And then that lets families know some of the people that they can follow up with if they have a need or when they have a need for certain types of services.
Right. Now, do you also assist with things like maybe they're on a fixed income and they weren't financially prepared to have children in their home that have, brings more expense to the family?
Right. It does bring more expense. And while we in our support group don't have actual funds to allocate, but we do try to point them to services such as Department DSS and some of their child-only programs, or Medicaid, some of the SNAP benefits. So being sure that if families, and they may not know that they could qualify for some services, because at times, like you say, if they have raised their children and maybe now it's just been them as an adult or empty nest and so forth, and then now they have their grandchildren of a variety of ages, And these grandparents or kinship caregivers are often also still working with their adult children, you know, who may be in and out of the home, or working themselves on trying to maybe be able to take their children back
Yeah.
and give care. But so it's, there are different needs and different circumstances.
Different situations.
Right. Uh-huh.
So the support group meets once a month, and where do they meet?
We meet at Cooperative Extension here on South Post Road in the county office building.
Okay.
We meet in the auditorium, and the kinship caregivers bring their grandchildren with them.
Okay.
So we actually are able to operate 3 support groups, or 3 different groups at the same time.
Okay.
And that's because we have volunteers who come, our Extension and Community Association members. We have some volunteers from DSS staff, Cooperative Extension, our advisory board members who are made up of different agencies come to the meeting. So we are there also as volunteers
Okay.
at the meetings.
So there's a lot
So-
of resources just at the meeting.
Right, yes, because we have members of the advisory board from DSS. So again, they're able to help us stay current on some of the things as Medicaid changes that are just coming into place. So that's one of the topics that we will probably be looking at in February.
Okay.
Also schools, Cleveland County Schools, we have a school counselor as part of our group. These are advisory board members. We have the Partnership for Children. We have had and are trying to get members back in these positions. The Health Department, the YMCA, and Greater Cleveland County Baptist Association
Okay.
are 3 agencies who have been, and that as they've had retirements or people changing jobs.
Right.
So we're trying to keep some of those key positions, and the library. We do have representatives from the library meeting with us, so that
So-
we ask the question, who should be at the table? Who do we need at the table
Right.
in order to help
And it's
serve
people who serve children
children
and know,
and
what's
adults
available.
who
Yeah.
serve the grandparents.
yeah.
So with that age group as well, the Area Agency on Aging also is a member of this group of our advisory board, and has actually provided us with our primary funding through a grant that we've been able to apply for each year.
Okay.
And on the extension staff, I myself am the Family and Consumer Sciences agent, the FCS agent, and we also have the 4-H agent as part of this. So we work with, again, the adults
Yeah,
and the
and
youth
the youth.
from Cooperative Extension as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a small child to be part of the support group. Maybe you have a teenager or
Right.
a middle school child in your household, and those are special circumstances. So there's resources available as well, and you can kind of put them in touch with what's available.
Right, yes. And the ages of the children, we have about 24, 25 children right now in the families that we're serving. And they range in age from about 3 or 4 to high school. We have 1 or 2 who used to be in that preschool age and are now taking driver's ed, or we've had some to graduate. And
Yeah.
so, you know, we celebrate those milestones with the families and with the children,
Yeah.
because our volunteers and some of the advisory board members, we've been a part of it from the very beginning.
Since they were little.
So yes,
Yeah.
so we all do care.
So what does a typical meeting look like when you come to the meeting? What can people expect? Because, coming for the first time, somebody's
Yes.
never been, can be a little scary. You don't know what to think. So what does that look like when a family comes to a meeting?
Well, when they come, again, we are here at the county office building in the auditorium, so you would park there in the front. Our meetings are in the evening from 6 o'clock until 7:30, and as you enter, you would have someone there with registration, and we do ask that families call, and on the back of the brochure, is a phone number, 2 phone numbers, our number at Cooperative Extension, and then the number at DSS, which is the phone number for Roxanne Rabb, who is the social worker who works closely with us.
Okay.
So Roxanne handles registration and would be the person who would handle, getting you in and any paperwork that we need done. And then when the meeting starts, we'll take the children to their different meeting areas. So children under age 8 meet in a younger children's group in one area, and then the older 8 and up, 9 and up meet together.
Okay.
And there will be an age-appropriate program planned for both of those ages, as well as the educational program that has been planned for the adults.
Okay. So the adults are going to get an educational program, and is that usually provided by somebody that's a partner with the group or somebody in the community?
It could be either. Sometimes one of the advisory board members themselves or a staff member from our agencies might do the program. I have done several programs on this past year on healthy eating, or how to prepare and plan meals with a busy schedule.
Yeah.
We've talked about how to use some small appliances like the Instant Pot or the slow cooker or some things like that, so that as you're now having to prepare meals and get children to a sporting event or get to the PTA meeting or meet with the teacher or just help with homework, whatever it is.
Right.
But healthy eating is a big part of wellness and, of course, the growth and development of the children, but also for the adults. So we've had programs on nutrition, we've had fire safety, we've had the police department, and we are working with the chief of police in Shelby now in recruiting a member from their staff to be a part of the advisory board.
Okay.
Because one of the areas that we have seen a need for, with both through the police department or the sheriff's department, is there's so much on cyber and social media and all kinds of things that technology that we may not be up on, vocabulary that we certainly are not up on, and just ways to keep our children safe and protected.
Okay.
So each agency really is we look to them for the information that is there in their wheelhouse. Whatever they deal with is who we go. If it's a safety issue, we might work with the police department or health. We go to the health department.
Right.
We also wanted our families to know about the community health assessment that Cleveland County has just gone through last fall, and will be getting that report. So grandparents members were able to serve as a focus group for that and have their voices heard, and also they were invited to participate by doing one of the surveys, just like other families and individuals throughout the county. So we try to plug them into whatever's going on.
It sounds like a very well-rounded group that covers a lot of different things and kind of touches on anything they might need. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and learn more about the Broad River Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Support Group.
Hi, I'm Shara Miller, the host of Artworks. Each month we bring to you wonderful, talented artists from here in Cleveland County and the region. We have artists, we have potters, we have painters, we have musicians, we have actors. We just have wonderful artists that come to you and tell you about all that they're doing, their creativity, what inspires them. Join me here on Artworks each month on C19. You can also watch us online at c19.tv.
Every day is different. You have the ability to forge your own path. The industry's wide open. You've always got job security. And also write your own paycheck. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. I am Noel T. Manning II, hanging out with a bunch of cool folks.
Like Glenn from The Walking Dead.
The Critics' Choice Scholar. Christian is not with us this week because he was smart.
Tim, how are you doing back over there on the Tim Cam?
Tim Cam.
Love is eternal,
Love is eternal.
knows no date,
It knows no date. Keep
which means we can run this more than once.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh, look at he's celebrating.
He's celebrating
Was
Ragnarok.
there a band called Striper?
Yes,
So there was?
yes, absolutely. I have no idea. I just made that up.
Welcome back to Senior Moments. I am Jackie Sibley Newton, your host, and we have been talking with Nancy Abasiakon of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, who also helps manage the Broad River Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Support Group. And we talked a little bit about what happens when the adults come into the meeting, but then the children break out and go to their sessions with in their age appropriate section. So what happens then?
Well, they are in a meeting area with volunteers who have planned a program, and we also have our ECA members, our Extension and Community Association members, who provide a book club. So they come and select books, and the children get to then pick their own books. And what we're trying to do is, again, focus on literacy and the importance of reading, but also let the children have a chance to build their own libraries.
Yeah.
Because you know how exciting it was when we were all growing up and could have our own books.
Yeah.
That you go to the library and get books, but to have your very own books at home
Yeah.
was also very special.
Yeah, we all had our
So,
favorites
that's
too
right.
that you read all the
That's right.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So at the end of the meeting, everybody comes back together, correct?
Yes, that's right. They come back, the children and their leaders from their group, and share with, we call it our wrap-up time.
Okay.
So we will have finished the adult program, and the adults usually have a little time to just talk or mix together. And then the children come and they will tell us some of the things that they have been doing. Or if they've made something, they'll show what they've made. So that lets the grandparents be informed about the topics and then
Right.
continue that conversation at
Later
home.
They meet, when are the meetings? They're the third?
Right. The
Thursday?
meetings are, our regular meeting dates are the third Thursday of each month in the evening, 6 to 7:30. And we have just a couple of months when we don't meet. One is January, which we've passed. We don't meet in July. And then, but otherwise, there is a support group meeting
Okay.
those other months. So the
And they
third
meet from
Thursday.
6
to 7:30.
Okay.
Right, 6 to 7:30. And so we come and park in the front area and just enter right there. And we wrap up pretty close to 7:30 because we know that this is a school night.
Oh, yeah.
And we certainly recognize, and we'll give a small snack to the children, because when they come, families have been rushing to finish up with whatever their evening and their day has, get everybody in from school, make a quick change, get in the car and drive over to the meeting.
Yeah.
So we do have a little snack for the children too, and the
Okay.
adults while we're there.
Now, there are some times when there are special events that you do. You might not always meet at the Extension office. You might do something else in the community occasionally.
Right. One of those months is June, and what we have been doing in June, we're trying to help families celebrate even small things. So one of the things in June, of course, is the end of school. So we
Right.
participate in an end of school movie night, and the last few years we've been going to the Don Gibson Theater and it depends on which movie they're showing
Right.
and how it would be of interest to the ages that we have. So that meeting may change. It
Yeah.
may not be the third Thursday, but that's one. And then our back to school in August, and that it won't be at the Extension office. We have been having that graciously provided through our member, the YMCA. So at that one, we would announce the date, and families, we would all go to the Y, and they have a swim
Okay.
celebration time.
Now, I imagine meeting once a month. The families get pretty close to each other, and the children form bonds.
Yes, yes, they do. And even though they're in different schools, because we have children and families from Kings Mountain to Boiling Springs area to Shelby to Upper Cleveland, but everybody gets to know each other.
Yeah,
So-
especially those who've been there year after
Right.
year and have grown up being part
Right.
of this group.
And one thing we wanted also for the children and the families to have an opportunity to give back to the community. So in November, they prepare personal care boxes for some of the clients through DSS services.
Okay.
So we have about 12 to 13 shoe boxes. And the families bring some items, and the advisory board members bring some items
Okay.
to
Put it all
stuff
together
that's
and make
right.
some
And
really
they
cool things.
decorate the shoe boxes, and the older children help to divide up and be
Yeah.
sure everybody has some of the same kinds of things. And so it's a nice outreach and a way for them to also know about giving back to the community.
Now, you mentioned some volunteers. You have volunteers within the organization. If someone from the community wanted to volunteer, how would they go about doing that?
If they would just contact me at Cooperative Extension or Roxanne Rabb with DSS, and our name and phone numbers are on both our brochure and the poster
Okay.
that will be circulating in the community. But we do welcome families who are doing kinship care, which is different from foster care families.
Right.
Because often foster care families may be, they have their own support type group and even financial funding that might
Right.
support them. But the kinship care families don't have that.
I see.
So, and of course, this keeps these children out of the foster care system
Right. And with someone in the
and
family.
with their family, where they're able to learn about their family culture, the values of their family members, and again, just be protected and nurtured.
Right.
You know, your own family, that's a special
Right.
little bond
Yeah.
there.
And there's some safety and security that the child is going to feel when they're with someone from
That's
their
right.
family.
That's right. And it's a real bonus and opportunity that everybody wins and receives something in this arrangement.
And this group has been going on for quite a while.
We started in 2007, so we're starting our 16th year, and some of the advisory board members have been a part of this group from the very beginning.
Wow.
So again, and the program is really only possible because of support from our agencies. You know, our Cooperative Extension, our county director, Greg Trawick, is very supportive, as the DSS staff and director and so forth. So we really do need and count on the community to make this work.
Yeah, what a wonderful organization. I think a lot of times people don't think about the amount of grandparents who are raising their grandchildren in this area or in the state, and there's quite a few. And there may be people that aren't part of the support group out there who didn't even know. And that's what we hope to gain with the show,
Right.
is that there's people who maybe need to know that there's a support group for them if they find themselves with their grandchildren.
Right. We would love for them to call us so that we can connect. And our next meeting will be March the 21st.
Okay. And they just need to call ahead, and that
That's
number
right.
has been flashing up on the screen several times. So they just need to call ahead and let someone know they want to be part of the group, and you'll give them some details and
Right,
let
and
them
get
know.
them registered. We do
Yeah.
register through the Area Agency on Aging because, again, as they're one of our main funder.
Right.
So we do ask for families. But if they're raising their grandchildren, then just give us a call and we will certainly get the information and
plugged
try to
right
get
in.
us connected.
Yeah, and you don't even have to find a babysitter. You bring the kids with you to the meeting, and they're going to get something as well as the grandparents are
Right.
going to get something. So, well, this is such a valuable thing. I think one of the things that's always impressed me about Cleveland County is the level of care that this county has for our residents, our neighbors, our
Right.
community. And this is just one of those things that you don't see everywhere.
True.
So we're very grateful to have this service, and thank you for your leadership within that organization, and also for all the partners out there who are joined in and making this possible.
Yes.
What a wonderful organization. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for the opportunity, Jackie. Thank you.
Well, thank you for watching Senior Moments. We hope that you learned some valuable information that you can share. Maybe share it with your church, maybe share it with neighbors, anyone that you know that could benefit from knowing there's a organization to help grandparents raising their grandchildren. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back next time on Senior Moments.